everybody. Welcome to my live. How's everybody doing? Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I haven't been live for 2 weeks because of vacations. So my daughter and my granddaughter came in and they were with us for, I don't know, 10 to 12 days, something like that. So it was super fun. We did lots of things. Really enjoyed having them with us. Brian and the dog stayed at home in Chicago, so they didn't come with this trip, but we did lots of fun stuff, and I think we had a great time. So now I am back to do my lives again, and hopefully I can remember how to stamp. I feel like it's been forever since I've done it. All right, so tonight we're doing the Reach for the Stars class, and this was a class that I did for pre-sale. So many of you got the kit already, and we'll be able to craft along tonight if you would like to do that. So thank you to everyone who bought a kit. I do have 2 kits left, just to let everybody know in case you want a kit after the class. Hi Renee, how are you? Keep that in mind as we're going through the class tonight. I think this is a really fun class. I love space stuff. Super fun for me. I'm kind of a space nerd in that way. But anyway, we'll get started making cards pretty soon because we have 6 projects to make, so it's going to take us a couple minutes. Before we do that, I always like to talk about my share contest. Hi Lois, thanks for joining. Every week that I'm on, I do a share contest and I give away a prize. So from 2 weeks ago when I was on last, I talked about giving away these are the iridescent pearl basic jewels. Super fun, very basic to have. I use these a lot, especially I love to be able to color these too, so you can make them any color you want if you color them with the blends. And then this spool of ribbon, and this is the boho blue, and it is absolutely beautiful textured ribbon, very pretty. So the winner from the drawing was Lisa Sharkey. So Lisa, congratulations. I will put that in the mail for you. And I want to say thank you to everybody who shared. So what I'm going to give away this week in this contest, I don't know if I gave one of these away already or not, but it's a really good thing to have. It's the 23 to 25 in color jute trim. So it's a pack of 5 of the new in colors and the trim. So if you would like to win this, all you have to do is share either on Facebook or YouTube and then write shared in the comments so that I know you shared, because it doesn't always tell me. And then I will enter you into a drawing for the prize. All right. Okay, welcome everybody. Let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera down and we'll start making some cards. All right. See if this is kind of sort of straight. Pull up my chair. Okay, so tonight, like I said, we're doing Reach for the Stars. That's out of the annual catalog. This is the suite of projects. So we have a stamp set and a die set. We've got some beautiful paper, some designer series paper. And then we also have this beautiful holographic specialty paper. We're going to be using all of that stuff. Here's a couple of the samples in the catalog. All right, so this is what we're going to make tonight. We're going to make several cards. So we're going to make this Reach for the Stars card, this Your Stellar card. Then we're going to do this this card that's a fun fold, and it's a pop and twist card, or twist and pop. Still haven't figured out which way that is said. So we're going to make that one. We're going to do this little holder for some space pop rocks, which I think is really fun. We're going to do a gift bag that has a little card on the front of it. And then lastly, we're going to do this cute little pencil holder, which I would think would be perfect for the start of school as a little gift for a teacher to send back with the class. So let me put some of these aside and we will get started. All right, let's do the easy ones first, right? That's what I think. Okay. All right, cool. Oh, thanks, Lisa. All right, here is the Reach for the Stars stamp set. So we're going to use pretty much all the stamps in here, I think, tonight. So this is like empty because I have all the stamps out. This is the die set that comes with it. So you can see, I'm going to pull this one out because I know we're going to be doing some die cutting for the little spaceship. We've got some flames for the spaceship, the guy, all these that can cut out the planets from the designer series paper. And then these, which are awesome. And thank you, Stampin' Up, for giving us 2 sets of those to make these really cool little stars that we're going to cut out of the holographic paper. So really pretty to put on our cards. And these are fun too. These are, you can make your own planets with these rings if you cut out some designer series paper. So you can make your own little Saturn planets if you would like to. So really great set. The other thing we're going to use is, of course, what I use every week is the Stylish Shapes dies, because we're going to want to use some banners tonight. So I have that out too. Okay. So here is the first set of cards. All right, we're going to start with a Berry Burst. This has really become, this might be my favorite color now, is the Berry Burst. I really like it. Lots of fun. Standard card size, so we've cut a sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock in half. So we have, it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So that's our card base. The next layer I've cut in pumpkin pie, and this is 5 1/4 by 4. Then I cut a piece of basic black, which will be the next size, which is 5 by 3 3/4. So we're just going to layer these up. And then once we do that, we're going to start layering our planets. Now let me show you. So this designer series paper, if you ordered the kit, you got a half pack. So that was a full sheet of each, but I cut them in half for shipping. So all of these little blue things are all the planets that we cut out for the class, right? So I just kind of marked them because I wanted to make sure that everybody got what they needed to get and was able to cut it out for the class, right? So these are just all, and look at how pretty these are. I love the colors. The planets are absolutely gorgeous. So these are some of the planets that we're going to use. And these big ones, I just fussy cut this out with a little bit of a black border. So you can't tell how terrible my cutting is against the black background. And then this one, I used one of the circle dies just to cut this out of the designer series paper. And then this was actually on there, on the sheet, as a half piece. So you can still use all these pieces that aren't full circles. And I used one of these because we're just going to put this on the side right there. Okay, so lots of options with those too. I cut out the little flames that I showed you before. So I did a little bit of Daffodil Delight for the bigger one, and then a little pumpkin pie for the smaller one. So if you got the kit, you got these 2 little pieces that you could go ahead and do your die cutting with. We cut the banner in the basic black, and then we have this piece of smoky slate to do our stamping in. So let's do that. We're going to stamp and emboss a couple of things. So let me put this stuff aside for a minute so we can get that going. And I thought it would look nice to have the silver embossing on the smoky slate for our rocket. Or is it a space shuttle? It's probably a space shuttle, right? All right, so let me get out the Versamark. All right, and here is our space shuttle. I think that's what it is. Stamp. So I'm going to stamp it just right in the middle here. And then I'm going to get out my silver embossing powder. Now see, if I was smart, I would have used my little thing to put the powder on first, but I can never remember that. I don't know why I have a mental block on that and can never remember to do that. We'll try and do it on the black, see if I can remember. I'm doing them separate, even though we're going to emboss twice, because I just feel better about doing it that way so it doesn't dry or get goofy or I'll mess it up. So let's just heat emboss this now. I hope you guys have had a good couple of weeks. It's been hot here in Texas, really hot, in the hundreds. But we had a lot of pool time. My husband took them to the water park a few times while I was at work. So lots of fun and sun and water. Okay, you can see how it's starting to turn now. Really pretty. Okay, that looks good. So there's our rocket. Now let's go ahead and do our sentiment. And you can see on the card I did it, we're going to do it a little bit off to the side because we're going to cut it off. So let me use my embossing buddy now that I remember, especially on the black, because I don't want those little silver specks sticking out on the black. So we're going to do Reach for the Stars and put it right about over here. And again, use the silver embossing powder. I think that looks pretty good. Well, sometimes I can't help myself and I just have to do a second run just to make sure. All right, I think that's going to be it for the silver for now. Put that away. And we'll just do this little piece. Now, if you don't like to emboss, you don't have to emboss this. You can just stamp it. And you don't have to use a black banner either. You could use any color. Maybe you could use the pumpkin pie or the berry burst and stamp it in black so you don't have to emboss if you don't want to. I like the look of the embossing. Okay, so let's put this one together. I'm going to cut this out with my little die cutting machine. So let me just set this up. Get a little bit of Post-it tape to hold it in place. All right. So I can get this lined up properly without sticking my head in the camera. I think that looks pretty good. Now this little machine they still have for sale, so this is still available. I love the blue. I think it's really pretty machine and so easy. I mean, you're basically running it through with just your fingertips. Super convenient. Okay, get rid of these. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Make sure I don't lose that. All right, let's put things together. We'll start with our layers. Whoa. So Miss Emmeline, my granddaughter, is 2, and she likes to make cards. So we made several cards while she was here, and she wants to do everything. She wants to do the stamping. She wants to use the tape runner. So that's pretty fun. I'm glad she likes art and crafting. And some of the things, I mean, are easily recognizable, right? Like she liked the balloons. She liked a set that we're going to use next week. I don't know if you guys, I'll show you guys the set later, but it's one of those like thank you sets and it has little band-aids in it. So she was making boo-boo cards, which I thought was really funny. All right, we're going to put our big planet right about here. And then this half planet off to the side. Oops. And I'm just doing the planets flat. We're going to pop up our rocket or space shuttle. So let me get some dimensionals. I'm not too low so you guys can see me. See me struggling with the dimensionals. All right, and we'll put this right about here. I'm going to take a little bit of glue. Let me open this up. This is a new one. I just started a new one. My old one was getting a little bit grungy. Let's see if we can get this started. Okay. Got it started. All right, so I'm just going to start by taking the orange one and put that onto the yellow. Let me get my tweezer because it's kind of small. it on right there, and then we'll just slide it underneath the rocket. Come on. I feel like this one is almost falling off. I don't know, I might have to play with that one a little bit. Okay, let's just slide it right under here. And that looks pretty good against the black, right? All right, now let's cut off our reach for the stars. Find my scissors. Maybe right about here. Maybe a little bit closer. Let's cut off some more. And we'll pop that up as well. Come on. Right about there. Now I want to put some of these fun little stars on. You can see I cut out a whole bunch of these, right? Every time I ran something through my die cutting machine, I ran through some more stars because I thought we're going to use a ton of these tonight. And I want to have lots of them available. So I'm just dotting some glue where I'm going to want to put these. Just like that. Now, you could also just put rhinestones, which would be really pretty on here. You could also use a little bit of Wink of Stella if you wanted to sprinkle some on here to add a little bit more sparkle, kind of a twilight thing. That's probably a fun idea. All right, these are very little, but I think they're really pretty. And I hope you can see the shimmer from the holographic paper. It's really pretty. So there's like small, medium, and large ones. Okay, getting there. All right, good thing glue dries clear, right? And we'll do another smaller one right here. And then a big one down here again. Straighten that out, straighten this one out. Okay, you guys, that's it. Card number 1 is done. This is getting switched out for a big one now because I have so much glue on there. Okay. And now I have a star stuck to my finger too. Let's put these aside. All right, that's card number 1. All right, so the next one we're gonna do is the Your Stellar card. Another pretty easy one to do. So let's get out our pieces for this one. All right, so if you got the kit, all the card stuff was cut out for you, the cardstock, but you had to use, cut out your own designer series paper and your own planets. So I've got this big piece of white to do our little guy we're gonna do. All right, so I started with just a basic black card base, same size, 8.5, 5.5 square to 4.25. This is 5.25 by 5.25 by 4, and this is Orchid Oasis. So we're gonna do that layer. And then I cut this out of the DSP, and this is 5 by 3 3/4. So that's our first 3 layers. Cut out some of the planets, and again, I used an edge piece for this planet. Don't want to waste our planets, right? So we've got that. We've got this one and kind of the earthy looking one that's going to go on. We've got this for Your Stellar, the skinnier banner from that same set. And then we're going to do our astronaut. And again, this is the last cards I think that we're going to heat emboss, but let's heat emboss it just to take a look. And again, you don't have to heat emboss. You could just stamp this in black if you wanted. But I kind of like the way it's shiny, the way the heat embossing looks. So we're going to heat emboss in black for this. So let me get out my Versamark again. And our astronauts. This is a really nice astronaut stamp, right? I think it looks really good. The detail is beautiful on this guy or girl. Okay, now let's be really daring and go ahead and do our banner at the same time. I'm not sure that was straight. That was totally not straight. Wow, that's interesting. I guess I can use the other side. I'm gonna move it closer to myself real quick just to make sure I get it lined up more straight. Okay. It's kind of hard to stamp way out in front of you. Okay, so this time we're going to use the black embossing powder. And let's get our astronaut powdered up. Try not to get it everywhere. I'm going to do a little bit more. You can see I kind of missed by the hand a little bit. And I want it to go this way. All right, that's good. Let me get this one. Okay, let's get this up. I'm looking for my reverse tweezers to do the little one. All right, let's do one more heat. Okay. Okay, that looks pretty nice and shiny. I especially like it shiny on the helmet because it's, you know, they're kind of a glass front, so I like it shiny there. We've got some pieces around the edge, but we're going to cut it out, so it doesn't really matter. If you just stamp it and don't emboss it, you can always Wink of Stella this part right here, right? I'm going to hit it just a little more. It feels a little tacky still. Okay, I'm going to make sure it's fully ready. All right, I put all my toys away. We're going to cut this one out. Let me get rid of some of this powder on here. So I'm going to cut this a little bit smaller to go through my die cutting machine. And then we're going to die cut this one as well. All right, let's get this going here. I had a little trouble lining this up earlier too. I'm not sure it fits exactly, but this looks pretty good. So let's just go like that. My chair is very squeaky. Okay. Let's run this through. I think everything else I've pre-die cut tonight, so this is probably the last thing that we'll die cut on the air. So put these guys up. All right, that is our person. Okay, let's put this one together. Again, pretty easy, right? So we're just gonna do layers. again, this is the Orchid Oasis, which I think coordinates really nicely. The one card's pushing the other card because the one card is so thick, the one that we're going to do next. I've always loved space stuff. I think in 3rd grade when I was in school, our teachers had us write a letter to NASA, and then they sent a bunch of free things like in the mail, like pictures, and you know, that was in the 60s when all the Apollo things were very popular. And so ever since then, I've been fascinated with all the space stuff. All right, we're gonna pop the planets up on this card. So let's put our partial planet over here first, like that. And we'll pop these guys up too. Now, the patterns are really nice in here too. So you have all the star patterns, but you also have the other patterns that you can like use to make your own planets. Oh, look at this one gets cut off too, doesn't it? Can I cut it off straight without messing it up? Let's see. And of course, I'm cutting right through dimensional too. Let's see if that's gonna look okay. I think that looks fine. Okay. And then we'll put our little earth looking one down right about here. Okay, now this guy I'm just kind of putting here and kind of cutting off the foot down here. I'm going to put him on first and then cut off his one foot at the bottom. So I'm going to put a lot of adhesive on to make sure that he stays where he's supposed to be. So I think right about here would be good. And he's just kind of sitting up on these other planets here. And then we will cut the foot here. I'm going to say, right, let me get over it. Like that. And then if you want to add any support, you can toss some dimensionals underneath in the places where the planets aren't holding him up. So I'm just going to take a scissor and just add a couple of dimensionals right underneath to kind of give him some support. So I think I'll try and slide one more. And then what we're going to do is embellish with the gems that came in the kit. And I think those are perfect for this set. And I really love them. Of course, you could use my all-time favorite, which is just the rhinestone basic jewels, because those would kind of look like stars too. Or something silver maybe. Okay, and let's put just one more underneath the arm. Let me get my seat straightened out. I'm sitting on my legs again. All right. And this is a little bit stuck down. Let's just slide this under. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Okay. This is gonna kind of the same thing. We're gonna put this up here. So let me put a little bit of adhesive here. And then on this side, a couple of dimensionals. Your stellar, right like that. Okay, then let's add some of these beautiful gems. And these are, what is the name of these? Do I have one handy? Hold on, let's see if I have one handy here. This is the package of Adhesive Backed Sparkle Gems. And it's almost like a silver, a whitish silver, the black and the gold. Really, really pretty. So I'm going to use some black ones on this card. So, and they're in two different sizes. You have like a large and a small. So we'll just grab some of these and put them on here. Like that. And another one right there. All right. Card number 2. That would be a nice card to give somebody, right? Tell them you're stellar. All right, perfect. All right, let's do the next one. Okay, you guys, this one is going to take a second, but I think it's really fun. I think it's worth it just to do this really fun card. Okay, let's see if I can get it right too. It's not that complicated. It's just when you're starting to put it together. So for this card, I have added, hold on a second. For this card, I have also added this die set, the Nested Essentials, and we're going to use this die right here in the inside and on the outside for the sentiments. All right, you can see this one's kind of thick. There's a lot of pieces in this one. All right, so let's start with our card base, okay? So this is our card base. Again, we've taken a piece of cardstock, cut it in half, but this way the long way, so our 8.5 by 11 we cut. So it's 11 inches by 5.5, and then we scored it, I'm sorry, 4.25 by 11, and it's scored at 5.5, okay? So it's gonna open like this. Then this next piece is the 5.25 by 4. Really pretty Tahitian Tide, which I think is another good color that looks good with this. And then we have a piece of Designer Series paper that we cut to 5 3/3. Okay, so these are our first 3 layers. So this is going to go on the front, and we'll just start building the front first, okay, because that's the easiest thing to do. So I'm going to start by adding this layer to this layer, and then we're going to add a little ribbon around it before we put it on our card. So I'm going to center this. And then the ribbon that came in the kit is the Starry Sky ribbon, which is really, really pretty. And again, I think perfect for this. So before we do that, let's stamp our sentiments and put it on, okay? So this one says, if I had a star for every time you brighten my day, I'd have an entire galaxy. We are going to stamp that in Starry Sky. And this is a little Tahitian Tide tag too. All right. So let's put that down with just some seal. And then we'll go ahead and tie that ribbon right above it. Lots of ribbon came in this kit, so you'll have lots extra for other projects. And I'm going to start by making a knot so that it stays, and then do the bow afterwards. It's really thin, skinny ribbon, so the knot's not gonna make it too bulky. I'm gonna move that up a little to where I want it, and we'll do the bow. I love the sparkle in this ribbon. And I like the way it coordinates too with all of our projects tonight. Okay, nice big bow. Let me just cut off a little bit right here. Okay, then for the rest of our front, so now I can go ahead and put this on the front right here because it's got the ribbon, and I think we're done. So we're going to finish the front first, and then we'll do the inside. So we'll center that. Now I've already stamped. You get a little piece of white to stamp your little guy on, and I stamped him in Starry Sky. So this one I didn't emboss. You can kind of see the difference, how it looks in the Starry Sky, just stamped and die cut. And I think I will add a little bit of Wink Stella just to this part right here. Make it just a little bit sparkly. Just like that. And that'll dry. And I'm just gonna put this guy on with seal, not popped up. I didn't want to make the front of the card fat because the inside of the card is very fat. And eventually we've got to put it in an envelope, right? So let's put this guy right here, and we're gonna, again, cut off the foot. Okay. Just like that. We'll put the little gems on at the end. Let's get started on the inside now, okay? So I'm going to put this out a little bit where I can look at it. So the first thing I did was, of that holographic paper, I cut 2 pieces. These are 5 1/4 by 4, and those are going to be the first layers on the inside of the card. So that'll be what we put down first. So one on the top and one on the bottom. And that's kind of our background. Okay, so we got that. All right, next are the inside layers. So this one is pretty easy. And let me get the measurements here. So this is 11 inches by 3 3/4, and then it's scored at 2 3/4, 5 1/2, and 8 1/4. Okay, and we're going to accordion fold this. So this is going to be up. This one will go back this way. So let me make sure it's lined up right. And let's just burnish it so it's nice and flat. This one will go the same way. Make sure that's lined up perfectly. And if you got the kit, I have already scored these pieces for you. Okay, so that's how this is going to go. Now, I'm thinking we might as well embellish this. You can either do it now or you can do it later. I guess it really doesn't matter if we do it now or we do it later. I guess we can wait. All right. The other piece to this is going to be the part that's going to pop it up, right? So for this piece, this is 8 inches by 3 inches. So 8 inches here, 3 inches here, and then it's scored at 1 1/2. So right down the center of the 3 inches at 1 1/2. And then the other way, it's scored at 4 inches right down the middle of the 8, right? So right in the middle. So we've done this way and this way of the scoring. Okay, then we take a little mark and we just put it down. Let me get this out of the way. And it's marked at 2 1/2, right? So you can see each one of these is a half. So 1, 2 1/2, and I made a little pencil mark. And then at the other side, same thing, 1, 2 1/2, okay? Or you can just mark it 5 1/2, either way. So I'm marking it on both sides with a little pencil. Then I'm just taking my little pencil mark, and I'll show you how I did it. I just used my my little machine here, and I took pencil mark to pencil mark like this, and I just went ahead and I scored it this way, okay? Then I flipped it to the other side, and I went pencil mark to pencil mark here, and then I scored it again this way. So now you can see we have an X, right? So we've got the cross across, and then the X is like this. Now we're just going to go ahead and loosen up the paper and hit the folds. So all of them, you just want to go ahead and fold and burnish. So this way, and this way, and then we're going to do our diagonals. 1 and diagonal number 2. Okay, and that is how we're going to do it. Now, hold it like this, put your thumbs here, and you're going to fold these in right here. Just like this. It almost looks like a little bow tie, right? Because you want this to fold so it looks like this, right? So these are folded on the inside, and you almost have these little arrows, okay? So that's how that's going to be on the inside. And then I have to figure out, okay, so then we're going to take the inside of our card, and I want to make sure I'm doing this right. It's going to go the other way. Hold on, let me look a minute, because it's been a really long time since I did this. I think, give me a second, because I want it to, I know it's supposed to be like this, right? Because I need it to fold, but I need it to fold this way. Hold on, let me see. It goes like this. Da, da, da. Okay, hold on, I need a minute because I have to remember how I did this now. it has to go this way because I want it to fold and open this way. Okay, let me see. You guys can help me out here. So you can see how it goes like this. And that like that. Oh, okay, because I'm folding it wrong. That's what I'm doing wrong. Let me fold it in this way. I think it's got to go the long way. This way and this way. Why can't I do it the opposite way? All right, you guys, hold on a second. It's gonna go like this. This gets here, and this gets here, and this gets here. And this gets here. I've got it folded the opposite. Okay, there we go. See, that's what I did wrong. Okay, so instead of folding it the way I said, see how it's going to, I'm folding it in this way. So I've got the long side like this. I'm folding these two pieces together so my arrows are like this on the long way, okay? Then when I put it like this, it's going to open this way, okay? So let me put on my adhesive here. I knew the corner went right up against here, right? But I had it folded wrong. And like I said, I did this, gosh, 4 or 5 weeks ago. It's been a long time. Okay, and then let's put adhesive on this part and fold it down. There we go. Now it's going to fold out like this, okay? And that's just the way we needed it to go. All right, then we're going to put some adhesive over here and over here. And then this piece is, they're going to attach like this, okay? And then it's going to fold in. Let me make sure these are down right. It's going to fold in and close like that and twist like that, okay? So let me add just a little bit of adhesive here. And here, and then it folds like this. Okay. All right, I know you can't see what I'm doing, but I put a little bit of adhesive at the top right here, okay? Then I'm gonna fold it like this. I want this to go like this. I know there's an easier way to do this, but I'm not doing it the easy way, so I'm just gonna line it up like this. And I think that'll be good. Then when it folds like this, I want this part right here to be attached right here too. So a little adhesive here, see on this side right here? And I want this to line up right about here. Now, when we fold it, it's going to fold in like that. I know that was a terrible demonstration. I'm sorry. But as you can see, it pops out now. It's just where we put the glue. And hopefully this glue that I used is strong enough to hold it. But when we close it, it's just going to close up and fold. You can see how it folds just like this inside, okay? And it pops out like that. All right, so let's decorate the rest now. So I have these little pieces. So I've cut 4 for the panels. The rest is easy. That was the hard part. The rest of this is very easy once you get that part done, okay? So I have these panels right here, and these are, again, the holographic paper, and this is just the regular holographic. It doesn't have like the design on it, and it's the silver part. And so I have, excuse me, 3.5 by 2.5, no, that's a DSP. 3 5/8 by 2 5/8 for all 4 of these. All right, let's put these down. 3 5/8 by 2 5/8. And you don't have to do this layer either. You could just put this this layer right on if you wanted to. But I like the way the silver adds a little bit to it. So it just ends up being a very skinny border on these. Like that. And one more. And then we're going to do the same thing with the other panels, with the space looking panels. So now these ones are 3.5 by 2.5, and I've just cut 4 of those. And that's just like the star part. Let me move this so I can move this up a little bit. So we have a little bit of a star background. Okay, let's see, where do I want to put this one? I think I'll put this one right here. And then this one here. And then we're going to add our little planets and spaceships on here. Okay, there we go. So that is going to just fold in just like that, and it's going to open up. And let's decorate. So let's put our planets in. I've got a little Saturn planet that we're going to put. And again, just to keep it from getting too bulky, I'm just putting these on with the seal now, because I don't want to add dimensionals and add too much more bulk to what we already have. So we've got a couple planets there. And we're going to do a couple planets on the next one. So if you got the kit, I've both pieces of this part right here, I already scored for you. So you will have it scored. It's just a matter of gluing the one part, and hopefully you saw then the way I ended up finally figuring out how I folded it the first time. A little earth. A little one of these. And then this one, put right here. Okay. All right, this is going to say you're stellar, and we're going to do that in the Starry Sky. And that's going to be our inside greeting. And we'll just put that down with some seal as well. And that's going to go right down here, so you can write your message down here, happy birthday, or whatever you would like to put right there. Now we're going to decorate with some more of those little stars. So let me get those out again. And I have an extra planet. This little one just went right up here. Okay, so let's just start putting some stars on. And get my tweezers. And I like these because they're flat too. So again, not adding bulk like you would with maybe the rhinestones. And they're super easy to cut out. Where's my glue? So let's do another one here. All right, and a couple here. Yeah, sometimes I do these kits so far in advance. Okay, now we need another rocket. So let's get out the piece that came, and we're actually going to do another rocket. So let me put this aside for a minute. And this time we're going to stamp it in black. So I'm just going to use Memento. I thought I pre-did the rockets, but I guess I didn't. So we'll just do that now. All right, and then the only thing I added to the rocket this time was just a little bit of the light smoky slate. So I just colored it in just to add a little bit so it wasn't just black and white. And I just did like up the sides, and is this the light? This is the dark. I wanted to use the light, so let's just do the dark here, like that. And then I'm gonna do my light as well. So the light, I'm just gonna kind of color this way and kind of just go up the middle to add a little bit. Like that. And then just right up the middle, the whole thing this way with the light. I think it makes it just look a little bit nicer to have that on there. And then we'll just do this part up here. And that's all we're gonna do for our little rocket. Let me just get some of these so there's not white showing right there. All right, let's cut this rocket out. All right, where are we at on time? Okay, this is probably the longest project. The rest of them are just going to be quick and easy again. So we did a couple quick and easy, did a longer one. Now we're going to go back to the quick and easy ones. Sorry about the shaking. All right. Perfect. And again, keeping it flat. Right here. And then we'll just add one more star right here. Just like that. Okay. Whoops, go back. Don't come off. Okay. You know what? We can add a couple right here too. Let me move this so you can see it. We'll add a couple here, right there and there. And then we'll be done with the inside of the card. I want to let this dry a little bit so it doesn't stick to anything on the inside. All right, that is the inside of our card, and it gets folded up right like this. Whoops, hold on. My one piece keeps coming up. Probably a good thing to use is either the liquid glue or, and you also want to get these folds like really soft so that when you fold them up, because this part has to fold in, that's what I'm not doing right. Okay, so it folds in nicely. Get them nice and loose. And let's just put a couple of dots on this one, and then we'll be finished. We're going to do the silver ones. You can see this one I've played with a lot, so it's super easy to open up and down because I got it really loose. So it's super easy. Whoops. Da-da. Okay. That is it. That was our tough card. But we did it. We're finished. And it works beautifully. Okay, next we're going to do not a card, but just a little treat holder. And that's this, and this is super simple, super easy. We have these little space rocks. If you got the kit, I sent you a couple packages of these little pop rocks, which are really fun. So that's just going to go right in there. So the other thing we're using for this one is I did go into another stamp set, which is Charming Sentiments for the Just For You. You don't have to do that. You could use any sentiment you want. You could use one from the set or anything else that you have for that. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, and it looks like I didn't cut the 5 1/4 by 4. So let's just cut real quick. Let me find a good piece that I like the pattern of. I think this one will be just fine. So I'm going to do 4 inches by 5 1/4, and that's going to be the backdrop layer. All right, so let's start just by putting that down right away. You could do this layer too. That's really pretty, right? So we've got a little blue and black in the background. All right, so the piece that I've started with this is, it's 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. This layer right here is 5 1/4 by 4. So that's what we started with, basic black and the DSP. All right. Next, we've got this piece of black again, and this is 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. And this is going to make our pocket for the candy. So I'm going to take a little bit of glue and run it across the 3 edges of our black cardstock. You could use tear and tape too if you wanted to do that. I think the glue is going to hold it nicely. And then I'm just going to line this up at the bottom, and this is going to make our pocket, okay? So we're going to let this dry. Whoops, I moved it. And the next layer that's going to go on it, again, is another piece of DSP, and this one I cut with the planets. So we're going to have the planets showing, and this one is 4 by 2 1/2. So we'll attach that too right now. Okay, then we're going to stamp our last little rocket ship for the evening. So I have my piece of just some basic white cardstock. I need to clean my stamp off because this time I'm going to stamp in Starry Sky. And this one I did again in the smoky slate, but I also added a little bit of Tahitian Tide, which I think looks really pretty on this too. So, and I like everything stamped in the Starry Sky. I think that looks pretty. So let's take our light smoky slate, and I'm just going to go across some of the edges. So I'm going to go across this inside one here, just like that. I'm going to do these little things down here in the smoky slate. I'm going to do just a line across here and get that even. And then I'm going to do these just 2 little pieces down here. My smoky slate is a little rough because it's been maybe smashed down a little bit. All right, Tahitian Tide. And again, just align the edges, and I think this just adds some really nice color to our little rocket ship. And these little rocket boosters, or whatever these are called, just add a little bit there. And then this part right here, and that's it. Just a little bit of accents, just to add a little bit of color. And let's die cut again. Sorry I didn't do these in advance. I meant to. I know it's really boring when you have to watch somebody die cut all these things. But it really is easy too to do. Okay. All right, I think this is our last rocket ship. Okay, so I've got this planet here that I fussy cut. another ringed planet, a nice Saturn. So I'm going to put that on, just kind of on the bottom and just kind of sticking up a bit like that. All right. Let's stamp. Okay, I die cut the same thing as before in the yellow and the pumpkin pie. So we've got our flames ready to go. And then I have this kind of shorter fat one for the Just For You that is also going to get stamped on this side this time. Let me pull it closer so I don't mess this one up. On the right side, and doing that again in the Starry Sky. All right, I'm gonna cut this right here and attach that. Right there. Let's pop up our rocket. So this one, obviously, you can see is so much faster and so much easier. So you could really do this for a classroom or a birthday party favors, or because you could make a bunch of them and not take too much time to do it. It's pretty easy. All right, let's add a little bit of glue. We'll glue our flames together and put them underneath our rocket. I'm trying to remember if we ever had a space party for my kids when they were little. I feel like we had lots and lots of themed birthday parties. I just can't remember if we did a space one ever or not. I know my son had a Star Wars room. Okay, let's add a couple of gems and then we can put our candy in. So you can see this one only really took us a couple of minutes. And we've got a nice little treat ready to give somebody. Okay, so these this bag of space rocks is from Amazon, and you can see I got a huge bag of them. So like I said, nice party favor if you wanted to do a bunch of them. And then we're just gonna pop it right inside here, and it fits right in, and that's it. Super easy, right? A little treat holder. Okay, let's do the bag next. So I got these gift bags on Amazon, and they already came with the starry background, so I thought that was pretty fun. So now we're just going to make this little card holder to go on the front of the bag. So what I've added to this one too is I just took, this is the Countryside Corners dies, and I could have just used another one of those stitch dies, but I used this die right here for the sentiment. You can use anything you have to cut out your sentiments, or if you got the kit, I already cut it for you, so you already have it. Okay. Now, I already did die cut and stamp the little guy again, our astronaut, and this time I did it in Blackberry Bliss. All right, so starting at the back, here is what our card is going to slide into. And again, I have our Berry Burst cardstock, 5.5 by 4 1/4, which is card size, right? Next layer is going to be the basic black, 5 1/4 by 4. And then we have our 5 by 3 3/4 Stargazing DSP. And this time we're using the orange, which I think looks really pretty. All right. So let's just do these layers first. All right, you guys still hanging in there okay? I know this is kind of a long class tonight because there were so many projects, and the one project was somewhat complicated. All right, so this is our back layer. All right, now we're gonna do a triangular corner piece, okay? And so what I've done for this is the same 3 layers. So starting with the Berry Burst, and the Berry Burst is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. I cut a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 square, and then I just went corner to corner and cut down the middle, okay? So that's 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and then it was just cut. So then the black square was 3 by 3, and then I cut that in half. And then the DSP square was 2.5 by 2.5. Okay, so now we can just, again, layer these up. Just like that. And we're going to use the glue again, and we're going to do the same thing like we just did. I'm just going to glue down 2 sides. So we're going to make a little pocket just along the edges like that, and right up to the corner. And then we'll let that dry for a minute while we do the rest of the card. Okay, so this is going to be the inner card. So back to the Berry Burst, and we have this at let me check and see what it is. There's a lot of measurements on here. This is 8.5 by 3 1/4 scored at 4 1/4. So 8.5 this way, scored at 4 1/4, and it's 3 1/4 on this side. Okay. Then I took another little piece of DSP, and this is 4 by 3, and we're just going to put this down right like that. Okay, now we've got some planets for this one. I'm going to pull it out just so we can see it comparatively, right, to make it nice and easy. So we're going to put a planet right here. We've got our little guy that's going to go on top of the other planets. So I have a partial planet in this color, which I think is like a crushed curry, I think is the color that is. I love using these side pieces too. And then another kind of orangey one right here. So planets like that. Then we'll put this guy down. And because we're tucking this in, I'm trying to keep this card a little bit flat too. So this guy right here, let's put him up a little bit higher. Cut off the leg at the bottom. Okay. And we can go ahead and put our little stars on. I've got some black ones. All right. Just a couple little stars like that. I'm actually going to do, as long as I've got it, a little Wink of Stella again on the face mask part of the helmet, just to add a little shine and sparkle to it. And that'll dry nicely. On the inside, I just have a piece of basic white, and this is 3 by 4, so that's going to go on the inside. I don't think I cut that right. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, I didn't cut it at 4. Easy to fix. It's supposed to be 3 by 4. But actually, you know what? The other piece was 3 by 4. That was the piece that I had in the kit for the astronaut. So I did cut a 3 by 4 already. Okay, so on this card on the inside, I took the other stamp and just did it in orange. I'm thinking on this one, I'm going to do some of the little stars, and I'll just stamp those in the corner. And maybe I'll do those in Smoky Slate. So let me just get that out and stamp a couple little stars in the corner. Maybe we want to get carried away and do a lot of stars. Just like that. Maybe some more. I like a lot of stars. Okay. And then you can just put whatever sentiment inside that you want. So this will be for the inside of our little card. Just like that. Okay. So we're ready to slide that in to what we've done so far, just like this. That's it, and ready to go. And then we're going to add our sentiment, and we did Greetings Friend, and I'm going to stamp this in basic black. I think when I did it, I stamped it in Blackberry Bliss for the original one, but I think it's going to be better in basic black. So Greetings Friend. I'm going to move it down. I know it's a little bit out, but I want to make sure I get it on here. Again, big greeting, small label. All right. What also you could do is instead of the Memento, you could use the StazOn and get a little bit darker black on there. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of seal. Or the other thing is, if you don't like the way it looks this way, and that's kind of how the other one looks on here too. It's a little bit faded looking. You could emboss it and make it really dark black if you wanted to. All right, then all we're going to do is put some adhesive on the back and put it on our bag, just like this. And then we're just going to add a little bit of ribbon to tie. So I've got more of the Starry Sky ribbon, and I've also got some of that beautiful white glittered organdy ribbon. So I'm just going to take kind of a long piece of both and just tie it around one of the handles, just to add just a little bit more to the project. Make it pretty. Let's go out this way. That one just a little shorter. Okay, and then you can trim that up if you'd like it a little bit shorter. Okay, and that's it. Again, pretty easy. Our bag was pretty easy. I'm not sure that's dry all the way. All right, last project, super easy. Another kind of quick one is this fun little pencil holder, and I just found these really fun again on Amazon. These pencils with all these kind of space designs on them. So I've got 4 different ones there, and we're just doing this really quick and easy little box. So this one I've drawn out so we can see what the measurements are. Right, like this. It looks a little confusing, but this is how I always sketch out my projects, just so I can do the measurements and see how they look. So this is the done piece, and if you got the kit, I scored it for you already in the black. Okay, so we have 3 5/8 across by 4 1/4, and then it's scored at 3/8, 1 5/8, 2, and 3 1/4. Okay, so I've scored them this way, and then at the bottom it's 3/8 this way. So you can see we've got skinny, 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 skinny on the bottom, and a couple of wider ones. All right, so I'm going to just burnish all the edges again. Fold it up. We're going to make our little box. Again, this would be a good party favor, a good back to school gift. And this takes no time at all to do these. It's super easy. It doesn't take much supplies because it's very small pieces of paper. Okay, so then we're going to cut the bottom. Just these are going to be our tabs. So I'm just cutting to the line on these. And then one of them I'm not going to need. So I'm going to cut this one off right here. We don't need that one right there. Okay. So this is going to fold up this way, right like this. This goes on the inside, and then we're going to fold our 4 tabs, okay? So let's use a little tear and tape on this one, because that should hold it pretty good. So I'm going to use some tear and tape right here. And, hold on, rolling back at me, stay. Okay, fold it this way and close it up. Make sure that's flat. Okay, just like that. And we can open it up and we have our box like this. Then we're just going to want to fold these in, and we'll do a little bit of glue or tear and tape, whatever you want to do to close this up here. I feel like that's way too much glue. Yes. Okay. All right, that's it. Easy breezy, right? That's our little box right there. Let me get my bone folder and just make sure that's all tapped down. All right, super easy. You can see how our 4 pencils are just going to fit in here really nicely. Okay, so that's part. Now we want to decorate it. So I have this little stargazing piece of DSP on this side, and this little piece is 3.5 by 1 inch. So we're just going to attach this. Okay. Whoops, let me bring that down a little bit towards the bottom. And the top part we're going to put stuff, so we just want these 3 borders to be even. Again, we're going to do your stellar, and we're doing that in the Starry Sky, but we want it to fit. So we're going to do our little trick with the Post-it tape, right? Or actually, we can just stamp the part that we're going to use. So let me make sure this is good and clean off. And we'll just do the ewer first. Let's see if I can do this without the Post-it tape. All right, I've got the ewer. So I'm going to put that right here. Ewer. Clean it off again. Make sure it's really good and cleaned off. Now I'm going to do the stellar part. Make sure I don't have any on my E. Don't want any on the E. Hold on, I'm going to do that again. All right, let's try the stellar again. See how that looks. I think that looks better. And we'll put that right about here. Okay. Now we're going to add a planet, and you can pop that up if you'd like. I fussy cut this little Saturn planet again, and have these more towards the middle. Just going across like that. We'll add a couple little stars, just like that. And we'll attach it with just some seal right about here. And we're just leaving a little bit of black at the top, and we're gonna tie some ribbon around. So I've just got a little bit of a border. And let me cut this off. And kind of tuck it under a little bit, the planet, and just do our bow just like that. Okay, that's it. So that was an easy one too, right? So super easy. Let me bring in the projects that we did, which are everywhere now. So first we did our Your Stellar, or Reach for the Stars card. Then we did Your Stellar. Then we did our Crazy Fun Fold card. Our Space Rocks. Whoa, I dropped the pencils. Hold on. We've got our 4 pencils in our box. And then we did our gift bags. So lots of fun projects. I hope you guys liked the projects. I know it was a long video tonight. Sorry about the confusion with the fun fold. I should have done that a little bit closer to the video so I would remember. Okay, so let me just tell you a couple things. If you would like the project and measurement and supply sheet, I'll put it in tomorrow's email if you're on my email list. Otherwise, you can just email me and I'll send it to you if you want all of the measurements. And I put all the measurements in red for the pieces that you have to cut out of the paper and the planets. So those are in red, so you know what you have to cut, and everything in black is already cut for you. So all the projects are here if you need them. I still have 2 of the classes left. If you're interested, it comes with half a pack of the DSP, half a pack of the holographic paper. It comes with a pack of those rhinestone jewels that we use. It comes with one of these Starry Sky. It comes with the bag, the pencils, the candy. Everything's included. If you're interested with that, just email me and I'll send you details. The mini catalog, you guys, is coming out. As demonstrators, we get to start ordering from it tomorrow, which is super exciting. I think there's going to be lots of fun stuff in there. I've already seen it. I've seen it like 6 times. I keep going back to it because it's so cool. Meaningful Flowers is the paper pumpkin this month, if you're interested in that. And then next week, I'm kind of playing with just doing some random cards. Because I have some stamp sets that are stamp sets only, and I got a bunch of them when we had that sale too. So usually I do like a whole set of cards, but I think next time I'm just going to do a couple different stamp sets and do a card from each stamp set type thing. So this is what I have so far. I did with this set, the thank you for everything that you do. I forget what the name of this set is. I think it's called Everyday Thanks. Let me pull it out real quick and show you. It's Everyday Thanks, and I think this is a fun kit. So I have this one that's more for nurses or doctors, a thank you for everything you do. And then I did a couple other versions. So I did like a teacher version with it, and then I did like a coach version. So we'll do those next week. And then I got out the Birthday Queen set with the little crown, and I did a really sparkly, fun Birthday Queen card. And then I'm going to use one more set. So I still have some more work to do on that, but I hope you can join me next week for that card class. And thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good rest of the week, everybody. Thanks again. Bye-bye. Hi, Donna. All right. Thanks, Lisa. All right. Bye, you guys.